Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Sunday Israel will press on with the war against U.S. designated terrorist group Hamas in Gaza until all its objectives are achieved.
לא עוצרים עד שמנצחים.
He said the war must not be stopped until we achieve all of its goals, the elimination of Hamas, the return of all of our hostages, and ensuring that Gaza no longer pose a threat to Israel, Netanyahu said at the start of a weekly cabinet meeting. Top U.S. and European diplomats sought ways on Sunday to keep the Gaza war from spreading further in the volatile Middle East, but 3 months after the start of the conflict, more bloodshed underlined the difficulties they face. Jordan's king urged the top United States diplomat on Sunday to push for a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip and an end to the humanitarian crisis brought by 3 months of war, the royal palace said. King Abdullah II made the remarks to Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who is on a Middle East tour aiming to ensure the Israel-Hamas war does not spread. Pope Francis on Sunday recalled the celebration of Christmas by certain Eastern Orthodox communities on January 7th in his Angelus prayers. Speaking from the window of his studio to the faithful gathered in St. Peter's Square, the pontiff appealed for the unconditional release of people kidnapped in Colombia. The Pope also mentioned the plight of the people of the Democratic Republic of Congo, who have been affected by floods in recent days. He added, "Let us continue to pray for peace in Ukraine, in Palestine, in Israel, and in the entire world." This is VOA News. Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has won an overwhelming majority in Bangladesh's parliamentary election after a campaign fraught with violence and a boycott from the main opposition party, giving her and her Awami League a fourth consecutive term. At least 18 arson attacks preceded Sunday's vote, but the election day passed relatively calmly. The Election Commission said turnout was about 40%. The absence of a major challenger to Hasina has raised questions over the legitimacy of the election. Mexico has increased immigration enforcement in recent weeks. U.S. officials say that has contributed to a sharp drop in illegal border crossings. More from VOA's Tommy McNeil.
The actions taken by Mexico include forcing migrants off freight trains, sending deportation flights to Venezuela, and flying and busing migrants to the southern part of Mexico. Even if temporary, the decrease in illegal crossings is welcome news for the White House. U.S. President Joe Biden's administration is locked in talks with Senate negotiators over restricting asylum, and $110 billion in aid for Ukraine and Israel hangs in the balance. Tommy McNeil, VOA News.
Former U.S. President Donald Trump continues to say the protesters who stormed the U.S. Capitol in 2021 were peaceful that day. AP correspondent Jackie Quinn reports.
Former President Donald Trump, campaigning in Newton, Iowa on January 6th, says the Biden administration allowing the migrant surge at the southern border is the real insurrection.
That's the real deal, not patriotically and peacefully.
But this is what happened at the Capitol in 2021. A whipped-up mob smashing windows and beating police to breach the building, hunting for lawmakers. Trump also claims the Justice Department's being unfair to the hundreds of people charged in connection with the riot, echoed by New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik on NBC's Meet the Press.
I have concerns about the treatment of January 6 hostages.
I'm Jackie Quinn.
U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin remains in the hospital as more details emerge why key decision makers, even President Joe Biden, were kept in the dark for days that he had been in the intensive care unit at Walter Reed Army Medical Center. A senior defense official said Deputy Secretary of Defense Kathleen Hicks was not notified until Thursday Austin had been hospitalized since January 1st.
Thank you for watching. Can you do me a favor? Please leave a comment in the comments section below. That would really help. Thank you, and see you again soon.